What's up, humans? My name is Reeve Kalel. Some of you already know me or have at least heard my name before, but nobody really knows my story, and I just felt like it was finally time to change that. You see, I'm not from here, from this planet. I mean, I'm from Earth, but a different one, I guess. I don't know. It still doesn't make any sense to me. All I know is that 7 years ago, something happened to me. Something that moved me into a different timeline, a different version of reality. I was born Reeve Kalel to parents Joshua and Lana Kalel on March 3rd, 479. But it wasn't that far in the past. We just operated on a Copernicus calendar and not the Gregorian one that you use now. I'm actually pretty sure it was further ahead in the future, because we had things like 9/11. Like 9/11 happened in my timeline, but it was like 10 years before I was born. And it was just something that we always talked about as one of the key factors that led to our downfall. And it was a downfall. For most of my time growing up, America was in a complete state of chaos. When I was 8, we bombed Torad, and Russia and Europe and Eastern Asia responded by joining forces and convincing the Middle Eastern countries to ban the petrodollar. And that sent us into a tailspin, depression. Food was scarce, violence was rampant, and there were plagues that killed off millions of people, but there were no money for vaccines. It was rough, man. When I was 14, I lost both of my parents in a nuclear attack on Washington, D.C. Ironically enough, my life was spared because a week prior I had run away from home to go do drugs with my friends in Santa Fe. And even though I never got along with my parents because they worked with the feds and were hella close-minded, that still eats at me, you know? But after the nuke, there was no government left to control anyone. And so we slipped into a state of anarchy. Santa Fe kind of became like the Mecca of darkness. And I made my way by hacking into abandoned bank accounts and selling these drugs called dreamer pills, which people treated like limitless pills, but essentially it was just some combination of LSD and Adderall. And, you know, it might not sound like an appealing life to you, but I was content. I was free. And then on December 21st, 498, there was an event. It's the only way I can explain it. It was like time froze. The earth stood still. Everyone around me stood motionless. And there was no sound, no wind, but I could still move. I was the only one that was still moving. And I looked up into the sky, and the clouds were moving thousands of miles an hour, and there was this aurora borealis over the whole horizon. And the next thing I knew, I was opening my eyes here, in the same body, but with a different name. Here I was Jacob, and I had parents that cared about me, and America wasn't in a state of ruin. I had no idea what had happened or how to tell anyone what I had just gone through. And so I didn't. I just kept it to myself. And I grew this urge to make music, which I had never done before in my life. So I tried it. And I tried making songs about what I thought was important. And in those songs, I tried to put warnings of certain parallels that I saw in this dimension that ultimately had led to the destruction of mine. But, you know, nobody cared. And I went on this journey that led me to the Black Hills in the Dakotas, and to the Golden Temple in India, and to the streets of Flint, Michigan. And I never found the answers I was looking for. And so that leads me here. I've decided to make this vlog to document my acclimation process in this dimension. Primarily just to say some of these things out loud and to make peace with it in myself, but also I feel like someone might find it interesting or entertaining. I've also decided I'm gonna remake some of my favorite songs from my home dimension, mostly just because I miss hearing them. And I know what you're probably thinking right now. You're like, damn, Reeve needs to lay off the drugs. And it's cool. I'm not expecting you to believe me. I know how ridiculous I sound. But if you can, just try to imagine the world that I describe to you. Try to visualize the pictures I paint. Because I have this strange feeling that if I can get enough people to see the image, I can create a window back home. And even if not, it'll just help me feel less homesick.